Hello, I'm Carl Ulrich, one of the leaders of the Chalice Circles that we have here at Westwood.
Hello, my name is Melinda, and my husband Tom and I are one of the leaders for the Chalice Circles here at Westwood.
Right. And we wanted this morning to share a little bit with everyone about what Chalice Circles are all about. Um, Maybe I'll start out, Linda. They're a small discussion group of 6 to 8 people, maximum of 10. We want it to be small enough that everyone has a chance to talk. Um, and we meet twice a month for 2 hours. And we usually go through 8 or 10 sessions at a time, like a spring session and a fall session for the sort of like 2 semesters. And it's important that people are working together through time. What would you like to add, Melinda?
When do you have your Chalice Circles, Carl?
Ours are on Monday afternoon. We have a group that's been going for quite a few years who are either retired or working from home so that they have a more flexible work schedule. So we meet on Monday afternoons. And the Thursday group?
And so for the Thursday group, many of us wanted the evening availability. So we created a Chalice Circle for Thursday evenings, and we meet twice a month. And I think we've been doing it for maybe a year now.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And both of these groups are full, but if people are interested, we can start another one. It probably would be another evening group. One of the things about a Chalice Circle is that it's a discussion group, but it's not where you're arguing a position. It's the topics we pick are ones that we can relate to in our own personal experience, so that we have an outline and we have questions on a particular subject, but the questions deal with how have I related to this issue, and I'm not trying to convince other people I'm trying to share my experience rather than so it's not argumentative. It's something where we have generous listening.
I think that's a really important part of the Chalice Circle. It's that people share about certain topics, but we're not going back and forth like a discussion. It's more like a talking circle where a question is put out there, and then each individual person at their own time will share about how they feel about that question. And then nobody's going back to the person saying, well, what about this and what about that? It's not like that at all. And so I find that this circle it really creates a wonderful opportunity to learn from others from a very respectful, generous listening position. And that's one of the reasons why I really like the Chalice Circle.
Another thing we find with this in terms of meeting over time, that you really get to know people with more depth, and that it becomes it's really quite meaningful. And the other thing that's really interesting about Chalice Circles is that it really doesn't matter what the topic is. You might sometimes have a topic that you think, well, gee, this isn't really that interesting, I don't think. But when different people begin relating their own experience to that, it almost always becomes really interesting and insightful. So it's really amazing how a topic that you might think doesn't hold that much interest can really deepen broaden your whole thoughts about that and understanding.
Carl, can you give us an example of some topics that
Sure.
You've discussed?
Sure. Some of the recent ones that the Monday group has done is difficult conversations, how to have a difficult conversation, dealing with trouble, reconciliation, procrastination, gratitude, following one's path, how to say no, any number of topics like this, but they're not abstract topics. They're topics that relate to things that we have experienced.
And for those who are new to this idea of a Chalice Circle, what happens is there's a leader, an organizer, and they do some work ahead of time, and they find quotations that will help the group get into the theme, and then there will be some questions. And so people get this information before the meeting, before the Chalice Circle, so they have time to think about how experiences that they've had, and that they can share those with the circle.
Yeah. So maybe we'll stop with that, but we'd like people to know about this, and that if people are interested, let Melinda or Tom or me know your interest, and we'll see if we can't help to organize a third group. So thanks for your attention.
Thank you.